So a couple days ago, I was messing around with stormtroopers in my collection, and I stumbled across this stormtrooper right here. Now it may just appear to be a normal stormtrooper, but this stormtrooper is actually all the way back from 2012. And you can easily tell this by taking off the helmet, because underneath there's this really unique head print that I think looks super cool. And this head print is honestly the most unique thing about this stormtrooper, as when you lift up the helmet of a newer stormtrooper, it looks like this, much less detailed. Now it seemed weird to me that the newer version had less detail, and then I started looking at all my other minifig heads and I started realizing this is a pattern. So in today's video, I'm on the quest to answer the question, are LEGO minifig heads getting less detailed? And if some LEGO heads are less detailed, why is this happening? So to start things off, I wanted to take a look at some older minifig heads. So I found these three, and these are all prime examples of highly detailed old minifig heads. Especially this one. This one comes from the old LEGO basketball players, where they even had printed hair. Talk about going the extra mile. A bunch of these other heads are also from old LEGO Lions Knights, which all had very detailed beards and faces. You can also see that they have a lot of unique expressions. But taking a look at some of the newer LEGO Knights from these new LEGO Castle sets, you can see the expressions are still present in this set, they just don't have as much detail as they used to. We can also see this trend of turning the less detail with heads in collector sets in the LEGO modulars. While they have been updated in recent years to include normal LEGO heads, it wasn't too long ago when all of these heads just used to be normal smiley faces. Now this type of detail downsizing with adult sets kinda actually makes sense for what LEGO's been going throughout the years. LEGO as a company has taken a much more minimalist approach to all of their set designs. For example, when looking at a adult themed LEGO box, you can see how boring it is. The entire box has no background, and this is in sharp contrast to their play sets that are oriented at a younger audience. This just looks so much better in my opinion. Speaking of LEGO sets aimed at younger audiences, these sets are not immune to this detail downsizing. Especially in LEGO Star Wars sets, we can see that the clone faces have lost a lot of detail over time. While many people express hate for these heads, you can't say that they didn't have more detail. In modern days, LEGO has also neglected to print pupils, which is really strange as some of these faces do have a lot of detail, but they just lack eyes. Another thing I noticed with more recent LEGO heads is a lot of them just aren't printed at all. In recent years, we've seen a rise of LEGO sets focusing on characters that don't necessarily need LEGO heads. For example, the Mandalorian and other Mandalorian characters don't need them at all. However, on these Imperial Commandos and Praetorian Guards, it'd be at least nice to get some type of head. There's no reason why they shouldn't have one. We can also see this detailed downsizing on actual minifigs instead of just the head. For example, this Darth Maul, for being only a couple years newer than the other one, we can very clearly see that there's less detail and all of the print lines are much wider. Also, he doesn't have pupils. I have no idea why this is a thing. Now, I believe that the reason LEGO is doing this with more playset oriented sets is to save money, as these are less picky consumers usually and they don't really need as much detail. Even the instruction manuals have less detail now than they used to. However, this isn't the case with all minifigs. A lot of minifigs are actually getting better and more detailed throughout the years. It just seems weird that certain traits on minifig heads are just being neglected. But anyway guys, that's the video for today. Comment down below if you have an idea for another video, but yeah, I'll see you in the next one.